What's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. Um, we've got a fine love reading today. No introduction needed with my kind of general love readings. So we can get stuck right in. Pile number ones, pile number twos, and pile number threes. Feel free to pause the video and I'll get stuck into pile number ones. Pile number ones. Should have maybe said it was going to be abstract, but had a nice flow to it. I think the word here that comes to mind is reconcile. To reconcile. I think that's what's happening here. Feels to me like two people are talking. Possibly like making up. It's almost like, let's say the feminine was sitting down and the masculine has come over to speak. They're talking things through. So, although you might kind of attach to this, this could be that you've argued, I do feel pile number one's that argument is over, which is a good thing. And I feel like this is the reconciliation, if that's even a word. This is the reconcile, this is the make up. And in that making up, there is a lot of love. I think some key words that you can take away. I'm not going to break down the two characters here because I don't think it's important. But kind of the key words to take away is like clear communication, loving communication. So it's a lot here to do with communication, as you can tell. I'm getting the vibe of like looking into each other's eyes. It's like listening. It's you're talking, but the other person, the other person is actually cares about how you feel. And this doesn't matter if you're the masculine or feminine energy here. I feel like it's mutual. I feel like it's going both ways. I feel like there's a clear understanding here of how one another feels. I feel like there is the passion that's coming later from this. So it's giving me the energy of like this conversation makes your relationship stronger, therefore more passionate, It wouldn't surprise me if this couple started making out 5 minutes after this conversation, or, the masculine slaps the bum of the feminine in the kitchen and it's fireworks from there. It's that kind of energy. That's why I said it was a happy reading, although it's to reconcile. It's kind of got I wouldn't say spicy, but like just a loving, basically. It's got a loving vibe to it. This isn't the argument of throwing plates at each other and toxicness. Even the positioning of the feminine who was sitting down, it was almost like maybe you've been giving each other silent treatment. It's not toxic in the sense of like, screaming at each other and then calming it down. It's almost like a bit awkward between you two, and there's this beautiful moment where you're coming together. So pole number 1, that's your reading. I hope it was helpful for you. It seemed very kind of precise, so I'm sure it's not going to resonate with everyone, but that's definitely for someone out there. So if you like the video, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pole number 2 is we've got an abstract reading today, so brace yourself. So, got some snuggle kind of energy here. It's funny because it's like one of the things that I got from this reading was that it reminded me of kind of landscape as well as people. This reminded me of like almost like the mountains, possibly even like a little bit like the Sphinx energy in Egypt, which is interesting, right? And then there's just this sense here of like the merging of two people, overlapping each other, becoming one. I'm also getting kind of like silence here. So it reminds me of the energy of, when you look into someone's eyes and you don't need to speak, but you can, maybe like psychic, maybe this couple's a little bit psychic, telepathic. You can tell what each other's thinking, you can tell what your partner's thinking. Because I'm getting this feeling here of them just looking at each other, but maybe feeling each other instead of speaking with each other. Yeah, it seems to be like without words here. Seems like this is the couple who are like, they really feel each other. I'm trying to ask Source I'm pausing here because I'm asking Source, what's this landscape mounting thing about? And like Spirit's just giving me, they're part of the same mountain, basically. So it's almost like, when a camel has 2 humps on its back. I think a camel has 1, to be fair, but like imagine if a camel had two humps on its back. Maybe it does have 2. I can't really remember. Maybe some have 2, some have 1. You might want to correct me on that, but like it's a good analogy, although it might not be actual or factual. If the camel has 2 humps on its back, they're still part of the same camel. It's a little bit harder to explain that with the mountains because, with mountains, they're all kind of linked by the earth, aren't they? Whereas the camel, it kind of creates a sense of separation from something, which kind of is why Spirit was giving me that. So pole number 2 is there's this sense here of that this person, sorry for the background noise, this person that you found or this person who you're with, this could also be a long-term relationship. It feels like you're two humps on the camel's back. Maybe there's something in that as well, like, Because when I'm thinking about the camel, I'm getting vibes of like endurance. I'm getting, like being able to withstand even through the desert. And even, like I said, the Sphinx was giving me like sand, desert vibes. So there's something in that too. Maybe you're meeting, could meet this person in that type of environment, or like I said, metaphorically, it could be just poking at the fact that because you've got such a strong connection in terms of how you feel for one another and how you feel in terms of understanding one another. I'm feeling like also here like the word sensitivity is coming through, like you're both sensitive people, and it could be that for a lot of your life, sensitive people, like I can vouch for this too, you can kind of feel a little bit alone on that path. But then when you find someone who's sensitive too, you realise how much of a gift it is and how rare it is a lot of the times as well. That's kind of what makes it fun, being a sensitive person, is that that's your uniqueness. And if everyone was like that, then you wouldn't have the gifts that you have. So I'm also feeling here that it's through your partner that you're able to see your own gift, which is always a beautiful thing. We got some confirmation there from a horn outside. So pile number 2's, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, pile number 3's. Aren't necessarily quick readings, but because the illustrations are coming through so quick, this is going to be a quick video. So it's going to be abstract, pile 3's. Oh, I just loved that that little crossover there. Damn, I'll leave that. Damn, that's cool. So there's something almost going on there. Like, so I imagine these as 2 heads, and these are the feminine's hands actually. But there's a beautiful triangulation going on there, which I just instantly fell in love with. So thank you, Spirit, for that. There's so much in that because it reminds me of the elements. I can't remember what element that stands for with the triangle. But then it also reminds me of like, it was almost like kind of a Reiki or a healing. So it's like this, I got this image of the feminine here hugging the masculine, and I'm also getting the vibe of the feminine being able to use like her energy work or her energy gifts on the masculine, so they're hugging. Do you know, it's quite cheeky actually what I'm getting from this. It's cheeky in the fact that like there's a little bit of bias here to the feminine in this reading, or not even bias, but let's just say dominance in the message. The message is more for the feminine here. So all my masculines out there, hold tight, because you can relate to this, because you're in somewhat of the patient seat, but the reading is kind of more steered at the feminine here. So why I use the word cheeky is that I feel like so these 2 characters here, they're basically hugging, but I feel like the feminine is cheeky because she's like healing the masculine without talking about it. She's doing energy work on the masculine, obviously in a positive way to heal him, but she's not doing it in your face. She's not doing it in a way which is obvious, or You know, in many ways, it's like she's not even doing it in a way where she wants anything in return, which is quite beautiful. Spirit was giving me that. It's like the feminine is kind of just working on healing him, and he's oblivious. So, you know, one could argue that's, you know, you're getting into territories of real, true, what's it called? Like unconditional love there. If you've got partners doing stuff like that, I think that's closer to the definition of true love that today's society has fallen so far from. It's the kind of doing things without the need for, is it gratification from your partner? You just do it because you want to do it. And in many ways, you're doing it because God told you to do it. So beyond the relationship itself, it's like you're following God first. Which, gosh, this I didn't know it was going to be this deep, but it's clearly going that deep. So part number 3, something that you can take away from this is, if you're the masculine or feminine, is there's kind of a beautiful reminder in this message that what does God want you to do? When you strip away the romance from this relationship, what does God want you to do for your partner? And I just wish that could be, I wish this message could go out to every single person on this earth. Because I think that would open up the eyes of many. When you strip away how it feels when you kiss, when you strip away where you're going out to eat on the weekend, when you strip away how they make you laugh, or what movie you're going to watch later, or where you're going to go for that walk. When you strip away all of the building blocks of a relationship, what is God asking you to do for them? And I think that definitely needed the pause. I think you definitely need the pause on that part number 3's. And yeah, I guess thank you for being on the other end of this, because I'm clearly having to think about that too. That's a different way of perceiving a relationship. Although it might have been in my like subconscious mind, you know, to bring it to the forefront and take that in with a deep breath. That's interesting. Because isn't it funny, like how I think this is something to think about, Pal Freeze. Isn't it funny how, let's say, if you're walking down the street and you see a homeless person, and God really says, give that homeless person some money, they need it. You can really tap into your intuition, or kind of just your connection with God, quite easily in those moments, right? But then when it comes to a relationship, we don't think like that. We don't kind of speak to God first, is what does this person need? It's like we kind of go into this place of ego, don't we? Naturally. And I'm not saying we all do, like you might be listening to this and you might be the absolute epitome of perfection, and great for you, but like I think there is an element of ego that comes in when we're in a romantic relationship. It's like we think we kind of know what's best for our person. We think it all comes through us listening. Or again, my men out there, my masculines out there, you might fall into this point of, like I do, like logically, okay, so if you just figure out what they want logically, then we've got a happy relationship. You know, like if we just figure it out, the 1 + 1 = 2, then we're good. But we often, at least for me, I might be speaking on my own behalf here, but we don't often go like leave it all to God, like, and that means removing even what they say. What does God want you to do for them, despite what they might be telling you with their words, despite what you might be telling yourself with the words? Because we've all got our baggage of whatever kind we bring to that relationship also, like, in that other relationship that didn't work, so I'm not going to do that in this one. But that thing might be the exact thing that person needs. That thing that scarred you in the last relationship might be exactly what makes this new relationship flourish. God damn. Fuck, this is a good reading. God damn. That's why you gotta listen to God first. Fuck. Man. This one was good. This one was good. God damn. There's certain readings where I'm sure in the future when I've got time, I've got to make them into just general readings. This would be one of the readings which need to be general, just chopped, just pile threes cut off, and then this is a reading for everyone because there's just too much in it. There's too much. Pile number 3 is thank you for being here. Before I leave you, I am going to leave you here, but really pay attention to this triangle because I didn't talk much on it in this reading. But I think there's something there, so remember to pause this video now if you need to. Just sit on it, meditate on it. There's something in that. It might even be when you're doing your Reiki healing, you might need to literally put your hands in this kind of position, and it might help a flow of something. That just came to me now, but really use your own intuition and see if there's something that comes further from that. So pile 3 is thanks again for this reading. Thank you for being here. If you like the video, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.